Want to hear how a serial killer is caught by a Las Vegas real estate agent? Welcome to True Real Estate Horror Stories Part 2 with Chris Bishop.
I'm going to tell you the worst horror story I've ever heard in real estate for the sake of your show.
Okay,
this is good. This is good. This did not happen to me. I worked with an agent. I think I remember it was back in the beginning. Her name was Carol, and Carol was from the Northwest.
Okay.
And for some reason, Carol was pretty adamant in every deal that she get a driver's license for a client. Like, that's not something we all do.
No.
Unusual. But she was adamant, and every time she would go out and show a house, she'd bring that driver's license into the office, give it to the front desk, and say, "I'm showing this client a property." And I'm like, new agent, not really understanding. We should ask for ID because there's a lot of scams going on right now for that.
I agree.
But she just did it. And so one day I got up the courage and I said, "Carol, what's the deal? Is that how you put them into your CMA or your CRM?"
Database, yeah.
And she goes, "No, I was attacked. And I was out showing a client and I had gotten his ID. It's something I was taught when I started in the business in the Northwest. I took him out to view property. We went to the third home. It was a condo. It was vacant. I shut the door. I let him go in front of me, and I turned around to lock it, or not to lock it, but to close it. And he hit me on the back of the head and started to beat the hell out of me." And I'm saying, "Oh my God, Carol, you're serious?" She goes, it gets worse. She goes, "There were some people coming down to show the unit, and I could hear them coming down the stairs as he's attacking me. He threw me into the closet, which was by the front door, and he ran out the door." And I said, "Oh my God." And she goes, "But it's worse. This guy was a serial killer." And she goes, "The only reason he was caught was because I got a copy of his driver's license and he had attacked me and been interrupted, and because of that he was apprehended by the local police."
I am shocked he even gave his driver's license.
But they say the weird thing is that, when presented with a course of the guy probably figured no one would ever see it. I'm just giving it this realtor. She's not going to be here in a while anyway.
Correct.
And
wow.
And it scared the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Right? You think of the story, you think of safety, you think of where you're at, and we're in a business where we meet with random people we've never really known.
All the time.
And from that point, I kid you not, I went to the next deal and I asked for everyone's ID. I said, I need to know who you are, the whole thing. And it taught me a really important lesson is that, I don't want to be a statistic that's attacked. I don't want to be in that position where, my family's wondering where I'm at, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And brokers say this all the time because they care about your safety and they have safety protocols in place. On our phones, there's alarm settings that we put on our lockbox system. There's alarms we can put on.
And buyer's consultations, in my opinion, that's why we do them, or that's why I do them.
Get to know people,
I
understand.
want to know the person that I'm about to show the property to.
And literally, the people that came down, Carol went on with the story, people came down and showed the unit. They opened the door to their surprise, there she was. And thank God they found her and were able to help her. Do you open every closet in every house you go to? I don't.
No.
And so, they took her, they contacted her office. The office was able to contact the police. The police were able to get his ID.
And then immediately they were able to find it.
And, of course, they didn't know he was a serial killer until they caught him.
Yeah.
And so that story, for some reason, has stuck with me for forever. And I think that's the worst thing I can think of in real estate.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So you had very similar stories to my business partner, Zach, who was at Coldwell Banker working for an investor.
Yeah.
And literally walking into these properties as a 20-year-old kid. Yeah. And he was chased out of one of them. So, it just, I don't think, well, let me ask you this. Do you think we're going that direction? Do you think we're going to have REOs again? Or you're going to see that pick up?
So,
it's hard to predict a market, obviously.
Right now, it's 3% of the market.
Yeah.
Every year I used to say in any of my trainings to every agent, 40,000 homes a year sell in Southern Nevada. The question is, who are they going to sell with, you or someone else, and work in your database. And 3% of 40,000 is 1,200 homes a year, if my math is right. And so, then they were 20,000 REOs, and they were all over, and they were transitioning. I don't think that's going to happen like that.
Yeah.
I think that we're going to see some type of crisis, because we always do. There's the stupidest thing you can say in real estate is, it's going to be like this for forever,
Yeah.
And it's never the same. I've been through 6 to 7 market cycles in 20 years.
Yeah,
and
I'm on 16 years, so I'm kind of right there with you.
Yeah. Same. It never stays the same. That's why it's such an interesting business.
Yep.
However, in all of those markets, I was able to make money and sell real estate, just like many agents were. And 18,000 members in Southern Nevada, there's probably only 2,000 that make it a real business. Everyone else is kind of dabbling in part-time, which is great if they want to do that. But there's plenty of business. I think with REOs, no one knew what the heck that was. Like when I got into it, no one said, "Oh, you should meet banks and you should talk." We were trying to keep banks out of real estate in the beginning.
Yeah.
When I got in '04, there was a big slogan, keep banks from stepping into our business. And then they controlled it all, right?
Yeah.
And what they were worried about is you'd walk into your local bank and you'd walk up and get a mortgage and deposit your money and then ask the person, "Can I buy a house? And why would I need a real estate agent?" Well,
So they were worried about the agent being cut out.
yeah. And then the banks got flooded with a business that they didn't have anything to do with, and then they had to figure it out, right?